Intro. Hello, moviegoer community, and welcome to Moviegoer.
All right. This was a weird one. If you guys have seen the previous episodes about 28 days and 28 weeks, I'm not a huge fan. I don't hate them, but I'm kind of indifferent. That's how I feel about this one. It's definitely very far removed from the first two. It kind of doesn't even feel like it's in the same universe. I don't want to go too much into spoilers, but the infected have evolved, and they make some weird choices with it, like story-wise. So I guess I can go into the cinematography, because there was some pretty creative stuff. They definitely tried, which I have to give them credit for. So, as we know, the first two were shot with a little Canon camcorder thing, which gave it that documentary home video kind of feel, which works for the time period. Now, as we know, this was mostly shot with iPhone 15s, which kind of makes sense because people don't really use camcorders anymore, to shoot home videos. Everyone uses a phone. But they built it up with a cage and lens adapters, so they really only used it for its crappy sensor and processing. I couldn't tell exactly what kind of lenses they used, because the behind-the-scenes photos aren't the highest quality, but it looks like they used Atlas Cinema lenses. Whatever line the zoom lenses are, because there's a lot of snap zooms. They also made a custom rig of 20-something iPhones configured in a half moon, kind of making a mobile bullet time effect, from The Matrix. The way it was used at first was fine, but then it gets old, really quick.
Moving up and down again. Men go mad with watching them.
I noticed some weird, color grading inconsistencies too. They tried to match 4 different cameras or something. The white balance between shots was the same, but the value of the colors was off. It was especially noticeable in the forest sequences. Not a big deal, just a technical quirk. And this is really divided into 3 main acts. The first act is the most interesting in my opinion, and has that frantic, wild editing from the other movies. But then it shifts into this less wild editing and kind of stays in that calmer style until the end. There's a story reason for the style changes, which I don't want to, get into the spoilers, but anyway, I'll wrap this up. But there was a funny flub I noticed. So the main kid is going through his stuff in the beginning, and he picked up a Power Ranger figure, and it looked like a Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, or maybe Power Rangers Megaforce. It was a really quick shot, but either way, Overdrive came out in 2007, and Megaforce came out in 2013. So how would he have a Power Ranger from after the outbreak in 2002?
Nerd alert.
If he's been quarantined in the UK his whole life, anyway, it doesn't matter. I just thought that was funny. Overall, it looks cool. Some creativity with the cinematography and editing. The horrible iPhone sensor keeps it in that same realm of the style from the first two. But man, that story gets really weird and feels really disconnected. But whatever, I'm not super passionate about it. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Just plain regular recommendation. If you've seen it, actually, yeah, you know what? If you've seen it, let me know. Let us know what you think, because I'm curious what kind of reactions this is going to get.
Yeah. Has one hell of a score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
A 93.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which I can see. It had a lot of cool shit in it.
Because it's a well-made movie.
Yeah.
It's just very disconnected from...
I said good, not great.
Yeah.
So I texted you.
Yeah,
To the movie.
yeah.
If your eyes drop, they will get the top of you. Boom.
So some backdrop. This community of survivors live on this island. And the only way off of the island is this long bridge that goes to the mainland. But it's high tide a lot of the time. So you can only get there and back at a certain time. So here's a con. This movie's opening was a little whatever.
Yeah, it was a week.
Yeah. You want to compare that to the beginning of 28 Days Later?
Or 28 weeks later.
Yeah. Well, first, just about 28 days later, he wakes up in that hospital.
Yeah.
And he's walking around abandoned London, which is really just like London at 5 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they put fake garbage and shit. Yeah. I mean, that's almost untoppable.
Yeah.
They almost top it with the beginning of 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah.
When the girl's looking through the eye hole
Yeah.
and the hand comes out
Yeah.
and gets her, and the old couple get eaten, and the husband abandons his wife,
Yeah.
and he's running through the field. Isn't it a helicopter shot?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah.
And they're
Some
all
kinda
coming
jet,
over
yeah.
the distance, all the zombies.
Yeah.
And he gets to the boat, and I think he fucks over the guy on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he like push him off? And he gets away. That was like just so memorable and
Yeah.
so dope.
Yeah.
And this one's opening was like him running away from this house that he's staying in, and then he gets to his father, who's a priest or something,
Yeah.
and he gives him his cross as a gift, and then he gets eaten by a bunch of zombies. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the weakest opening.
I'd say it was just a weak opening.
Oh, just in general,
Yeah.
just a weak opening. Yeah. Yeah.
Not to sound like a hater, but you know, whatever.
Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the wall.
So I thought it was interesting how they expanded on the infected in this movie. Like, I thought the whole idea that there's an alpha, the alphas, like, where did they come from? I thought that was like really neat. Did you see how big the dick was on the alpha?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was funny.
But they shoot him in the neck and they shoot him in the chest, and he's barely getting injured at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. I also thought it was very cool just to see the zombies in their daily life. Like, they have the rage virus, but they're not just going to be angry all the time.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
in that water, that body of water, and they're bathing. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, bathing. And also, there's a pregnant woman there, so they have sex, which I thought that was very interesting.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. A pro. There were some genuinely intense scenes.
Yeah.
Like when the father and his son are escaping from the infected, who they completely outnumber them. And they get into that house, and he's trying to get his kid up to go into the attic, right? And then he gets up into the attic, and they're all down there. And then they go away. Yeah, that was really intense. Yeah.
And that was interesting too, how like the alpha knew, like they were getting smarter, and the alpha was like just keeping watch and just staring them down the whole time. The father was keeping watch, and he was like, the alpha's not leaving, like he's staring, he's holding us down, So I thought that them getting a little smarter, I thought was a cool change, but
I like seeing them in their natural habitat though, like with the bathing.
so that's where I thought it started getting a little weird for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was cool.
Try to think of something different.
How did the alpha come to be?
There was a real quick explanation. They said like for some people the rage virus acted as like a steroid.
That's right.
And like built and
Yeah.
like as they move around they just get stronger and stronger.
Yeah. I give this movie a light 4 out of 5.
Oh wow, really?
I was definitely disappointed. I thought, in my opinion, the best is
4 doesn't sound like a disappointing.
a light 4.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
whatever.
given how excited I was thinking it was going to be like a 5 out of 5, a light 4 is like, well, catch a matinee.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was so excited for this. If 28 Weeks Later came out instead of 28 Days, I would have been like, bravo.
Yeah.
That was just fantastic. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I saw it the other day with my 2 friends, and my one friend has never seen either of the 28 Days or Weeks, and he liked this one. And then my one friend, who's a huge fan of the other ones, hated this one.
Really?
Dude, because I'm a dork and I have my notepad in the theater, and my friend literally, he's like, "Can I write a note for you?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he literally wrote down here, just wrote "shite."
Shite?
I was like, "That's your note," and he's like, and he just went off. And
Wow.
it was really funny, but that's why like I'm kind of curious like how divisive this movie is going to be. That's why I'm curious to hear like what people think about it in the comments, because like.
Yeah.
Like me, like I'm indifferent about the other 2, and this one I'm just like, whatever, it was fine. It was well made. It's just a little weird sometimes, But like, I don't know. Just like I didn't really get a strong opinion out of either of us, really. You know?
No.
I'm saying just fine.
7, 6, 11, 5, 4, 17, 32 the day before.
Although I am kind of interested to see what the next two movies are going to be.
They're making more?
Yeah, they shot this one and the next one at the same time.
Holy shit, really?
So the next one is called 28 Years Later, Bone Temple. And then depending on how this one and the next one does, they're going to make a third one.
Wow.
Or, you know, like this 28 Years trilogy.
Saga now.
Yeah.
Saga now, yeah.
I think the next one comes out like early next year.
I had no
Something
idea.
like that. Yeah, Bone Temple. That's the one that's going to have Cillian Murphy in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. I like the happy ending of 28 Days Later.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. See how Bone Temple goes.
Yeah.
All right.
Outro. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you can click on this playlist and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated.
Thanks.
And set notifications.